The stakes were high, the action intense, and we grew to love those quirky characters that held it together, even when the world around them was falling apart. Today, Switch goes to boot camp as we recruit the military shows that kept us on the front lines. We're going to count down 10 of TV's most iconic programs that made us salute the armed forces.
Say one thing about McHale's Navy, it was a funny show.
Then, we'll switch it up by commandeering the good and the bad from our list.
Goma, run out there and see what's going on.
To create our very own animated TV squadron at the end of the show. Will it be a successful operation or a complete surrender? You decide.
Switch it up. I'm about to take control. Pass me the remote control. Switch it up. I'm about to take control. Pass me the remote control. Switch.
Hi, I'm Cass, and welcome to Switch, where we count down your favorite TV shows in order to create the perfect pitch. Today, we're going to be discussing some of the most unforgettable military TV shows. Along the way, we're going to capture what sticks out to assemble our own unstoppable TV battalion in an animated finale. Joining me, we have pop culture analyst Mike McNally, comedian Laurie Elliott, TV trivia expert Paul Goebel, and E-Entertainment celebrity correspondent Michael Yo. Which military shows made war look fun on TV?
I think Major Dad. I love that show. You know, the guy could basically be a commander of a whole military, have all these troops under him, but couldn't control 3 little kids. It made the military look fun and exciting and funny at the same time.
What about CPO Sharky?
Think about CPO Sharky. It's like Don Rickles has had a million failed sitcoms, and that one it was like they were just looking, what can we put Don Rickles in? Every sitcom was the same, him insulting people. Yeah. But it's like, let's have him insult people as a marriage counselor. Let's have him insult people as a grocery store clerk. Let's have him insult people as a petty officer.
Did anyone ever watch Private Benjamin? That was one of my shows, and the reason for it is because I saw the movie Goldie Hawn, and I thought, hey, the TV show can't be so bad.
It was retread Gomer Pyle with ladies, is what it was. She was an idiot. Her sergeant yelled at her the whole time. Oh, she was definitely, she was definitely hot.
It's different watching a cute idiot in Gomer Pyle, you know? It's eye candy. You're like, wow, okay, it's a cute idiot.
Now let's soldier on and count down the top 10 military programs looking for characters we'd want in our squadron. As we march through our list, we're going to steal parts to assemble our very own animated brigade that we'd want in our TV trenches. Starting our countdown, surprise, surprise, surprise. At number 10, we have the lovable Gomer Pyle USMC. Why was he so lovable?
Well, he was innocent. He was completely useless as a soldier, but he was trying his best. But I'd want him around just to kind of lighten the mood, you know? When things get rough, he does a number.
But it depends what squadron you want. You want your combat squadron? Because you don't want him around. But if you want your back at the base, crazy hijinks, you totally
if you
want
get into a dangerous area, and Gomer, run out there and see what's going on.
Just don't give him a gun.
Yeah,
just let him hang around.
I would definitely want him on my staff anywhere, because you never want to be the dumbest person in your crew.
It's
you know
true.
what I mean? You never want to be the dumbest person.
It makes everybody feel better about themselves.
Exactly.
And we always like that person around.
But Sergeant Carter is a bit of a come down.
But it's good to have Gomer. It's good to have Gomer around, because then it takes away the sergeant's wrath on you. He just is constantly taking it out on Gomer. Gomer doesn't know any better.
When Carter walks in and everybody stands at attention, you know he's going to go right to Gomer.
What about when he would break out in song?
That's great. You need entertainment. It's not bad to break out in song.
He could have
Sometimes I do it myself.
taken 2 salaries, being an entertainer and a warrior.
Next up is a groundbreaking series that brought the realism of war into homes worldwide. This Vietnam War infantry platoon soldiered their way to our number 9 spot. It's Tour of Duty. Love this show.
This show was created because of the popularity of Platoon. When Platoon came out.
Yeah, but if you look at this photograph, they look like they're posing for like a Teen Idol magazine.
We're the ugly people in the military. You know, we need some ugly people. I mean, you can't have pretty boys.
You want to know what guy is going to release his solo album after looking at that picture?
What about Lieutenant Myron Goldman? He was totally by the book compared to Zeke.
That was kind of their dynamic. You know, that's why he was a lieutenant and Zeke was a sergeant, because the sergeant could get away with stuff, breaking rules. Myron, that was his gig. He had to make sure everything went by the book.
Zeke, though, not a good commander.
Really?
Too sensitive.
Way too sensitive.
Yeah, he cares about people too much. As long as you have people under you, you should be strong. You got to be that hard ass because people respect it. He's too sensitive.
They put that big knife on his shoulder, but it didn't work. It just, he still was too sensitive.
Too sensitive.
Don't go AWOL, because when we come back, we'll continue to count it down and switch things up as we salute those classic military shows we couldn't miss.
Pass me the remote control.
Welcome back to Switch. Today we've been talking about our favorite military TV shows and deciphering what we love about them to assemble our very own animated TV squadron at the end of the show. Joining me, we have pop culture analyst Mike McNally, TV trivia expert Paul Goebel, comedian Lori Elliott, and E! Entertainment's Michael Yo. So far, coming in at number 10 is Gomer Pyle, USMC, followed by Tour of Duty at number 9. Despite France being known for its tourism, the cast of our next show spent 5 seasons trying to get out. In at number 8 is the World War II series, Combat. How realistic was Combat?
It was a very blue-collar army show. They were grunts. They were definitely, on the front lines. And I thought Vic Morrow was great. He was a tough guy in a tough world.
He was playing Sergeant Chip Saunders.
That's right.
I like how they would have like one tank, obviously in the studio, covered in some fake leaves. And they would cut in footage from World War II, so you'd go to the suddenly grainy footage that's completely different than the TV show, and you'd see a bunch of German tanks, and they would cut back to these guys beside like a piece of wood painted like a tank. But I enjoyed the show. Like, I liked the little missions that they did, and they would get into their moral complexes about whether to kill prisoners or not. Like, I like that kind of drama, but it was always framed within taking out a tank.
This next group of South Pacific fighter pilots definitely wasn't singing any nursery rhymes. At number 7, we have the Misfits of Baa Black Sheep. How did this show stand out for you guys?
The whole thing with the show that was great was they were up in planes shooting at the Japanese, and you got to watch dogfights, and even though I think it was kind of the same shots every show.
And they just replayed the same shots over
But it was always exciting, got to see actual airplanes flying.
I like this show because these guys, they got up to their hijinks and stuff, but they also got the job done. And they had a mascot. You can't be a good team without a mascot. And they had a bull terrier named Meatball, and I have a bull terrier.
That's pretty sweet. Every guy had their very distinct personality, and he had a great, history, like a Dirk Blocker, son of Dan Blocker, James Whitmore Jr., It's John Larroquette right in the middle there.
Yeah.
Bob Conrad, probably the toughest of all TV tough guys.
He had a good manly jaw, and he would be sort of sensitive and tough, though. So when a guy lost his nerve, he would, dress him down, but then when the guy came back, he'd allow him to fly again.
That's the perfect leader. The perfect leader is the guy who gets the job done and gives you hell when you deserve it, and then gives you presents.
Carrot and a stick.
See, I definitely would want to be under him.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely. He would kick Zeke's ass.
Falling in line at number 6 is a commando team whose mission was to outfox the Desert Fox. Clawing their way through the Sahara Desert, we have the Rat Patrol. I liked it because I thought it was one of the dirtiest military shows out there.
Yeah.
It just really had grit to it in terms of.
Well, they're in the desert.
Yeah.
They're always getting dirty, and they're always. I loved how they'd get out of the Jeep and they're always wiping their face and stuff. And there was a dirty show without a doubt.
Well, I like as commandos, every episode is a different kind of mission. Like, it's not always just frontline combat. They're blowing up something different each time, or they're sneaking in here, or there's a traitor. They managed to have a lot of different stories, which made the show a lot of fun. And then they blew stuff up.
And every show, you got to blow stuff up.
Oh, yeah. Like, they had their opposing German officer, Dietrich, I think, that they would face off against. And one time, Sergeant Troy saves his life. Because even though they're fighting each other sort of outside of the bounds of the war, there's still a honor and a warrior ethic.
Was there a standout character in the show for any of you?
I think of them as a group.
Yeah. Because again, and look at those guys. They're all good looking. Look at their jaws. They all have the same jaw.
Cruising in at number 5 are the misadventures of a misfit crew during World War II. Starring the legendary Ernest Borgnine, it's McHale's Navy. Ernest Borgnine as a kind of a good officer, but not so good officer.
Well, he was a great leader, but you know, I don't know if I'd want him in combat. Also, he's kind of big for that boat. Right? He's kind of a big guy. There's not a lot of room on that PT boat.
They're having a good time, though. They entertain themselves. They come up with scams and schemes. There's sea doggery going on.
And they had a prisoner, you know, they had their own prisoner of war. It was like their butler. That's pretty sweet. But it's funny to watch the show to see his crew. You know, you see guys like Tim Conway and Gavin MacLeod, guys who went on to be, you know, great, revered comedians early on in their career, and they're really funny. Say one thing about McHale's Navy, it was a funny show. My favorite episodes are one where they're like, oh, we're having a party tonight, we're having a luau. Really?
And it's the party army again, like with Gomer Pyle. It's not a fighting army, it's a good time army.
Yeah, it's a good time army.
It's good
You definitely
to watch.
wouldn't want them really going into battle for you.
No,
you know?
con artist first, soldier fourth, maybe fifth.
When we return, you can't escape the fact that this series made fun of war. It comes in at number 2 on our countdown. Stay with us.
Pass me the remote control.
We're back in the trenches with pop culture analyst Mike McNally, TV trivia expert Paul Goebel, comedian Lori Elliott, and E! Entertainment's Michael Yo, where we've been counting down the top 10 military shows looking for characters we'd like to share a bunker with. Let's review the troops. Coming in at number 10, Gomer Pyle USMC. Number 9, Tour of Duty. Number 8 is Combat. Baba Black Sheep is at number 7, followed by the Rat Patrol at number 6. And at number 5 is McHale's Navy. Now, coming in at number 4, Who Says War Can't Be Pretty? Featuring the best looking lawyers on TV, it's JAG. A show that explores the military, but explores the law and the crimes within the military.
Like they would take McHale's whole army to court.
Yeah.
You know,
for
they are the
sure.
people, and they would hang him to dry.
What did we like about Captain Rabb Jr.?
He's very handsome, very competent man, strong, serious strides when he walked.
Good chin.
A very nice
Good chin. Boy
friendly-
crush, or man crush?
No, not with him.
Chin crush.
Well, good chin is important.
The two of them, they're the best looking. Like, you couldn't do a show with with one of them could not work without the
It
other
looks like
one.
a wedding photo.
That is a prom king.
It looks like
and
you're
queen
married right there.
Yeah, like if
That
you
would
put
probably
any,
be a military wedding photo right there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Imagine Catherine Bell showing up, like you're on a boat or you're stationed somewhere and she shows up.
I did
It's
it.
like,
I'm guilty.
I'm guilty. Take me in, please.
Put me in your
handcuffs.
jail.
Put me
Yeah.
in handcuffs, please.
Next, at number 3 is China Beach, a series that looks at the Vietnam War from a woman's perspective. Finally, we have a woman's perspective on what it's like to be in the military and also be a nurse because, you know, Colleen Murphy was the nurse of focus in this particular program, but we got her aspect and what she had to deal with as a woman.
She was very pure when she arrived, and then, you know, it just showed how
That's what
how
war
it
does,
just
you know?
tears you down. And even the most pure, and I like the dynamic between her and KC. She was the madam who provided comfort.
That's right.
They were so different and yet so similar. Like
yeah, they
their
both sort of did
upbringing.
they served the same purpose, only in different ways, you know. They're both healed, they healed the sick in their
Special way.
And it's not brushing it under the carpet or, you know, glossing over it. It's a very prominent element in
yeah.
it, which is great.
Here, it was like, we're going to China Beach. I just got shot. But the good news is,
Yeah.
I'm going to China Beach, and when I'm recovering, I'm going to go next door, because everybody knows what's next door. Yeah.
Up next, reporting for duty, we have a group of Allied soldiers battling the bumbling Germans from within a POW camp. At our number 2 spot is Hogan's Heroes. What do you think about the show?
I think it's the only show where the people could actually escape the camp, but always came back.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, we can leave, but no, let's go back.
I wanted to be a prisoner of war with Hogan and the heroes.
Yeah.
They looked like so much fun. Well, just their ingenuity and the cleverness of all the sort of the tunnels and the raising bunk bed and the coffee pot that's a radio and how they're always outsmarting the Germans. And they got the classic stupid Germans, which, you know, if the Germans were that stupid, they would never have gotten anywhere. There wouldn't be a war.
Well, and they addressed all that too, because the show was pretty outrageous. Hogan would always say, we have to keep Klink here, because we can't do what we're doing without a guy that stupid. You know, LeBeau, he didn't even wear a uniform. The guy could wear his chef's hat, he could do whatever he wanted, because he was feeding Schultz.
Oh, yeah, he could cook, he could sew, he could do everything.
That's what, and that I always thought was funny, because what kind of a soldier was he?
He was the Martha Stewart.
Is that what the French army is, though?
Oui, 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 you make the croissant.
Yeah, right.
Coming up, we'll find out whose hot lips made the men of this unit want to play doctor. Then we'll switch it up and deploy our very own animated television brigade.
Pass me the remote control.
Welcome back to Switch, and battling it out with me today are pop culture analyst Mike McNally, TV trivia expert Paul Goebel, comedian Laurie Elliott, and E! Entertainment's Michael Yo. Today we've been counting down the top 10 military shows to determine which characters we'd enlist in our own perfect animated television battalion. To recap who made the countdown so far, marching in at number 10 is Gomer Pyle as an entertainment source. The movie star good looks of Sergeant Zeke Anderson reserved tour of duty a spot at number 9. Combat's tough as nails Sergeant Chip Saunders commands number 8. Swooping in at number 7 is Baba Black Sheep with their bull terrier Meatball. Rat Patrol with its square-jawed Sergeant Sam Troy captures the number 6 spot. McHale's Navy sails to number 5 with McHale's Party Army. With the good looks and legal knowledge of Sarah Mac McKenzie, Jag engages the number 4 position. Operating at number 3 is China Beach with the comforts of Madam Casey Koloski. Attacking the number 2 spot with the culinary expertise of Corporal Louis LeBeau is Hogan's Heroes. And commandeering the number 1 position is the wild antics of the Army doctors of the 4077 in the TV series MASH. MASH set the tone even in the opening sequence where you see the helicopters come in, you see the women running towards the landing site, and then you see the team waiting, but you see Hawkeye with his Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, wow, it's serious. All of a sudden, how did he get away with that?
Yeah.
It had that blend of both comedy and
Sure,
and
people were
drama.
really dying all the time.
Your favorite character on the show?
I didn't have a favorite. Like a lot of TV shows I watch today, I don't have a favorite character. It's just I like the team, and I just like the whole team together. You know, they were fun, great to watch. I mean, when you're at the finale of a show and 60% of America watches your finale. You know, it's not because of one person that you singled out. It's because of the whole cast.
Well, they made sure when they replaced a character that they were totally different. You know, Trapper was a lot like Hawkeye in the sense that they both drank and they were womanizers, whereas BJ was married, happily married, and had a daughter. He wasn't a womanizer. Frank and Charles, the complete opposites. You know, Frank was a bad surgeon, and he was a nerd. Charles was a great surgeon, but he was above it all. You know, Colonel Potter and Henry Blake could not have been more different.
I liked Hawkeye. He was he liked to party, and he also knew how to maybe have a few drinks and then stuff a man's colon back up into his body.
Now it's time to switch it up and give the team their marching orders. If we were pitching the ultimate squadron to a TV network, who do we take from our list of shows?
The leader should wear a helmet, like the guys in combat, cocked to the side, like Vic Morrow did. That was always stylish.
Second in command, lieutenant female. Sassy, attractive.
Go with Mac.
Mac is, and she's a lawyer.
She wears very tight uniforms.
Yes.
They all wear tight uniforms. Can we have that?
Yes.
Can we have
Skin
that?
tight.
Because
We will give you
Mac's
that.
gotta
All
have
tight
you
uniforms.
see the bulge, she's got to see the bulge.
Yeah.
Oh, I got you.
And I think the jaw on the leader has to be good and square.
They all
Nice
have,
square
certainly.
jaw.
everybody on this show has great jawlines.
Yeah, we need a physician. Why don't we get a Hawkeye?
Hawkeye, yeah, Hawkeye.
Why don't we have a drinking doctor who operates with intravenous that has alcohol in it or something?
I'd rather have a cook.
Is he good at stuffing colons back in?
LeBeau, yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather have a guy who could cook the food and darn my socks and.
That's right.
LeBeau, and
You
he
got the
can
French
sew
in
you a
there.
sweater.
And I think it's
if it
good to
gets
have a
cold or
foreign
stuff.
guy as well. So you have the one guy
certainly.
with the strange accent and comic relief.
The guy that has all the
and
culture.
he's worldly.
Yes.
He's worldly.
He's worldly.
Why doesn't he be the scam artist at the same time? Or is he our the token prisoner who actually has become now a member of the clan.
Oh,
Or
maybe.
the butler.
good.
Is our troops butler? Our squadron's butler?
That's what he should be, the houseboy.
I wonder what it would look like if we took those characters and created a Frankenmation of the ultimate lineup. Well, let's have a look. From combat, we deployed Sergeant Sanders' helmet, enlisted the tight uniforms from JAG's Lieutenant Colonel Sarah McMackenzie, flew in Baba Black Sheep's Major Pappy Boyington Square Jaw, we distilled Captain Hawkeye Pierce's Drinking from MASH, and from Hogan's Heroes, we recruited Corporal LeBeau's cooking and sewing skills. Now, let's go to the front lines and see what troops we've put on active duty.
In a never-ending war, when almost all seemed lost, there was only one place to turn.
Make the call.
It was time to send in the crack squad of ragtag cliches who know how to get the job done. The team leader. Knock yourself out. The medic.
I'm a lover, not a fighter. Cheers.
The techie.
Sneak attack.
Giga, bite me.
And the chef.
Qu'est-ce que c'est ça? It's not assault, it's pepper.
Coming this fall, all in the infantry. There's no place like home base.
That is quite an animation.
Great jaw lines.
Great.
They were good jaw lines.
Nice jaw lines.
And you don't need any other TV shows.
No.
That just does
This
it.
is your one army show.
Guys, you have some great ideas. I want to thank you so much for joining us, and I'd especially like to thank the team of Mike McNally, Paul Goebel, Lori Elliott, and Michael Yo. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Switch.